Hey everybody, and welcome back to Roy Fiction. So, there's the mountain. Roy's got his cup of coffee.
Ryan's crunching on his chocolate.
Roy makes little Johnny grind all of his coffee beans for him.
Does Roy have coffee?
No, not actually in game, but
I don't think it comes with your standard rations, but Cowboys and coffee go together pretty well.
We'll have to get some coffee. Can you put Kahlua in coffee? Is that a thing?
Absolutely.
Absolutely? Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
In fact, isn't Kahlua coffee flavored liqueur? But yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's Mexican coffee. Is that what it's called? Is it Irish coffee?
So
cocktail.
Roy goes up the mountain with little Johnny.
Okay, yeah, Mexican coffee, tequila, Kahlua, and coffee.
I don't know about the tequila part.
And ice cream.
And ice cream? That's too much for me. I don't have ice cream on hand anyway. But I did get Kahlua today at the store.
Nice. I did not prepare for a weekend D&D stream. Normally I'd have beer or something, but
I've stopped buying beer because it'll just be gone too quickly.
Oh yeah.
I'll buy more beer and then I'll just get a big beer belly, and I just can't do it. My self-control is not that good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, so I'll just buy it with the intention of drinking it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't keep a stockpile around the house or anything.
No.
Just get fat. So, you and Winnie and little Johnny.
Little Johnny. Come on, Johnny. Let's go up that hill. See what's up there. Roy should probably have a gravelly voice like this. Probably how he should sound when he talks.
I don't know how I feel about that. So you ascend the gravel path, the mountain.
Excellent.
Leaving the mountain mining town of Burton behind.
I guess while we go up the path, Roy will look for any signs of people coming back down the other way.
You don't see any people.
Signs like trails, markers, any signs of recent passage. I don't know. He doesn't have tracking, but looking for...
Roll a perception check.
$16.
Nope. However, as you were looking around in the dirt, you do see something shiny catches your eye.
I pause to look at it.
I mean, it's down in the dirt.
I tell Johnny to go get it for me.
Johnny dismounts and he picks it up and holds it to the light. It's like a small disc of glass, size of a large coin.
I take it from his hands and hold it up.
Okay.
Does it look like the bottom of a wine bottle or a beer bottle?
Maybe. Yeah, it's about that size. It looks like there's a pretty large imperfection in it, like a crack.
Crack?
Yeah.
Are there any raised markers on it?
No, it's really smooth, aside from the break.
I tuck it in a pocket, help the kid back up on the horse, and keep on going.
Right. Add that to your character sheet. And you ascend the switchbacks further. Roll a perception check.
God, another 16.
All right. Eventually, Johnny points out to you, what's that up there?
I look in the direction he's looking. I don't think I see anything. The hell is that?
That dark shape, is that a cave?
I shield my eyes against the sun and look closer.
Yeah. Now that he points this out to you, you can see a large cave entrance off
Think
the.
you're right.
I mean, at this point, the path has more or less disappeared. You're kind of just roughly following the terrain, you know, the path of least resistance. But it's not like there's a worn road or anything.
Right. I think you're right, kid. I tussle his hair a little bit. Good eye. Well, that'll be the first place we look for these brigands. Not technically brigands. You see, little Johnny, a brigand is one who belongs in the brig, which makes these guys technically brigands. So, the brig is what you have is a jail on the land specifically, as opposed to a jail on a boat.
Isn't the brig? I thought a brig was on a boat.
Roy's got 6 intelligence. He's doing the best he can do.
Right. So you make your way towards the cave entrance. I think eventually you have to dismount and lead Winchester. It's just a little too steep and rocky to ride on horseback.
If it's less than like 1,000, well, if it's less than 400 feet or 500 feet to the cave from the point where we have to dismount, I'm going to leave Johnny behind with the horse.
It's more like 1,000.
Okay, then we'll keep on riding.
Okay, roll a horse riding check.
My wisdom. RD20 plus. Willpower's 10 plus 3 for horseback riding is 13. Natural 1.
Okay. Despite your better judgment, you try and ride Winchester along the steep and treacherous slopes.
God.
And when he loses her footing.
Oh God. Does she fall to her death? Is this like a Hannibal crossing the Alps moment?
It's bad. Winnie rolls a 1 on her save. I think Winnie, you hear a horrifying crack as Winnie's ankle rolls and the horse collapses. Roll me a dexterity check to save yourself from falling as well.
Is this just a dex check, you said?
Dex check.
$24.
All right. So you jump off of Winnie's back in time. Johnny does the same. So you don't take any damage or anything. But Winnie sort of slid in the gravel, and from the sound of it, broke a leg.
Oh, Winnie! Oh, Winnie! Girl, are you okay? I go to look at the ankle.
You see, exposed bone. She's clearly broken her front leg.
All right, Ryan, this is the point in time where I need to know what the situation of magic is in this world. Are there clerics that can heal things? Can I get a cleric for Winnie, or does she have to be put down?
You've heard rumors of necromancers who can mend flesh. I mean, the usual thing. You've never seen it yourself.
Okay, but it's not like, that the big town down the road has a good cleric of this wonderful god who likes to heal the sick. It's like dark necromancers can do twisted deeds.
I mean, maybe holy men can do it as well, but you've never seen it. You don't know anyone in particular.
I try and hide the tears that are welling up in my eyes from little Johnny. Winnie! Winnie, baby! Oh, God.
I don't know how to whine like a horse.
um... I'm trying to see if there's nothing you can do about this, right? There, you just have to put the horse down, right? I don't know why this is the thing.
I don't know. I mean, in game terms, she could probably heal, right? If you could find a way to get her down the mountain and get her to some extreme vetting, you could fix her leg.
Right. Okay, so reading about horses and their legs, their bones have become lighter. They're very strong to carry their weight, yet they're very light for them to be able to go fast. So unfortunately, sometimes when they break, they just shatter. When this happens, it's not possible to repair the bone, and not just because it's now in a lot of little pieces and won't heal together. Another plastic deformation means the bone bends before it breaks, and it is in bent shape that is preserved in the pieces. Oh, God. Even if you were to put the pieces back together, you would end up with a madly bent bone. Oh, that's... Okay. I'm on a mountainside?
Yeah.
I get down on the ground, put Winnie's head in my lap, and stroke her head. Oh, God, poor girl. And then I'll pull my dagger from my side as I, stroke her down the nose. And run it across her throat, hoping to cut through all the big arteries.
How much HP does Winnie have?
More than me. She has 11.
I think technically I should probably make you roll damage and like
Isn't
have
she
a health.
held? I'm holding her in my lap. She's held. Auto kill.
Yeah. We'll just gloss over the details. You can put your horse out of her misery if you so desire.
I do. Oh, God.
It took a dark turn. Johnny looks on in horror as you euthanize your horse.
Oh, God. Worst moment. I pull the gear off of her. Put the saddlebags on the kid's back and make him haul the saddlebags and the remaining gear, which is actually quite a bit. Well, I'll take the horse feet off and lay it next to Winnie. It's not that much gear then. He can probably handle it. If he can't, then he needs to learn how to. He needs to learn how to be a man.
So you leave the horse feed?
I leave the horse feed next to the horse. Put everything else on the kid's back. In the saddlebags, toss him over his shoulder. And head on up the path. Angry now. These people have cost me my horse with their bullshit placement of their bullshit.
Your poor judgment cost you your horse.
Yeah, but Roy can't deal with that reality, so he's coming up with his own narrative that it's these guys' fault that Winnie's dead, and by God, he's going to see them arrested, and then maybe after they're arrested, no, we'll just have to beat them senseless first. Okay, yeah, we'll just have to... Roy's gonna get some revenge here, even if it's not logical. He needs to do it for his own peace of mind.
All right. Well, Roy slips and slides his own way, 1,000 feet or so, across the mountain face to this small cave. The entrance is about 10 feet wide, about that tall.
I'll look at it. Well, come on in, kid. Put your stuff down once you get inside, in case you have to move quickly. And I'll scurry on over to the cave.
Yeah. Do you light a torch or anything?
Not until
Yeah,
we're inside the cave.
I mean, you go in the cave. I mean, you're it's a passageway,
Mhm.
and it goes forward. I don't know how far you can see from the light outside, but you probably lose sight, maybe
Well,
30 feet.
once the kid and I are both safely inside the cave where we don't have a danger of falling off the mountain, we can take out a torch.
You're never in extreme danger of falling or anything. Yeah, sure. You come in out of the wind.
Well, we've got 5 torches and 5 oil flasks. So I will light a torch and hand it to little Johnny for him to carry.
All right. Johnny takes the torch
Mhm.
and looks to you. Wipes a tear from his eye.
Real men don't cry, son. Real men don't cry. Come on. Come on. Come on, kid. Let's do this. I have him walk beside me and hold the torch out in front. I keep my hand on my whip.
He kind of stays behind your legs as he like holds the torch out beside you.
All right. Yeah, it's kids. It's all right. As we walk into the cave, I give a call out. Hello there. I'm looking for Lawrence.
Your voice echoes back to you.
Lawrence.
You continue walking.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like about 50 feet straight ahead, and the passage begins to curve to your left.
Tommy Lee.
You follow the curve some 20 feet more, and then there's a fork to the left and to the right. To the right, you see it sloping slightly upwards.
I nod to the upward path to the kid and start making my way up that one slowly.
All right. You walk uphill, maybe about 10 feet, and the flickering torchlight illuminates a cavern before you.
I walk on up into the cavern. I take the torch from the kid and shine it around up high. Try and get a good view of what's going on in here.
The ceiling is a little higher in here, maybe up to about 20 feet. And sort of on the far side of the cavern, what's the radius of a torch?
I think it's 15 feet.
15 feet. So
That's not great.
So beyond your light radius, you can see like shambling piles of debris against the walls of the cavern.
I give the kid the torch again. Yeah, it's 15 feet and lasts for 30 minutes.
There's no like dim light or anything in this edition?
Not really.
All right, the kid already has the torch.
Yeah, well, I took it from him to try and look around a little bit better. Hand it back to him. I want to hug the right side of the wall and make sure I don't miss any corridors and do a perimeter check of the room.
All right, you bring Jimmy with you, Johnny with you?
Yeah.
All right, you circle the right wall. Looks like the whole cavern is about 50 feet in diameter. You circle the wall, get about halfway around the room, and then the flickering light illuminates some of the debris, and you see a bone sticking out of the dirt.
I kneel down beside it and hold it up to the light.
It's like a long club-like bone, perhaps a femur. And then the dirt beside it, you see several more bones.
I check the dirt to make sure it's not actually ash.
I don't know that you would know that. It's not like fresh ash.
Okay.
It is a fine, powdery, gray dirt.
The bone. Do I have any way of telling if the bones are fresh or old?
Roll an intelligence check.
$22.
22. They, let's say in between. There's no meat on the bones or anything. So they're certainly not fresh in that regards, but they're not ancient. It's not like a fossil.
Okay. What lives in here? I say to the kid. This is... Did any of the miners down in the camp have any stories about the mountain?
The kid nods, eyes wide.
I kneel down to him on the ground and whisper to him now, what'd they say about the mountain?
Well, whenever anyone disappeared, they'd say that the Yetis got him.
Yetis.
He nods. Giant ape-like men. Well, not men anymore. Now they eat men.
And knowing these rumors or these legends, Lawrence and Tommy Lee came on up here on their own accord.
The kid shrugs.
I nod. All right, kid. You're gonna have to stand a little farther back from me now. And then we keep going around the side.
You circle around and you see that this bone pile extends throughout most of the back of this cavern. Roll a perception check.
$23.
You do spot a small passageway amidst the debris in the back of the room.
How small is the passageway?
Maybe 4 feet high. You'd have to crawl in.
I motion to the kid. Check it out. And before he leaves, I'll light a torch off of his torch, so I have my own. I'll send him down that passageway while I continue doing a perimeter check of the room.
Okay. All right. Little Johnny goes down small hidden passage. There is a cave-in like I guess it would have been the far left side of the cavern when you first walked in. So there's like a pile of rubble and rocks all the way to the ceiling, about 20 feet wide, and going most of the way to the ceiling. You can see like a small air crack, but like less than a foot tall at the top. About a minute later, you hear little Johnny scream. Ah!
I run to the cave, the smaller passageway.
Yeah, just a second.
And uncoil my whip.
Yeah. Do you still want to do size-based initiative?
Oh, you mean the
go back to...
Yeah, let's go back to the other one. The fast, slow, medium stuff is interesting, but I think too predictable.
Little Johnny comes running out of the passage. You hear an echoing snarl in his wake.
Oh shit! I hold the torch in one hand and a whip in the other, and I get ready to whip anything that comes on out of that. I stand, like 10 feet back? If my whip is 10 feet, I want to stand 10 feet back from the hole.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is 10 feet long.
Yeah. So Yeah, you don't have time to like ready an action or roll. Yeah, you were surprised.
Sorry.
Johnny was not. Yeah, so you're surprised to hear Johnny scream, to hear the snarl. Johnny comes running down the cavern, followed by a snarl and a flash of fur. Johnny is able to make it past you, though.
Good boy. Get the hell out of here.
And
Time for you to risk your life for me. 13 on the initiative.
you don't even get it. This is a surprise round.
Oh, okay.
Um, okay. So leaping at you is a bundle of fur and claw. Oh, yikes. Oh, lordy. Two, three, four. You take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of damage as this furry creature just goes to town on your face.
Ah! I cry out.
Mm-hmm. And then lands beside you. And goes scurrying for shadows.
Light, Johnny! Shed light on it!
You've got your own torch, right?
Yes, but I want to encourage Johnny to shed light on it too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if there's a minimum range on my whip or my lasso.
I think so. I think a reach-through weapon can strike at 15 feet. It
Or
can
10
strike
feet.
between 5 and 15 feet, right?
Yeah,
But
so I can
not-
strike 5 to
The
10.
creature attacked you and then
Darted.
fled while you were surprised. Right? So
That's
they did
a-
like a leaping surprise attack.
Uh-huh.
Scurried back into the pile of bones.
It's a shame. Could have gotten a couple of
So
opportunity
now roll
attacks from that.
initiative.
Okay. I already rolled an 13, but that was...
Okay, yeah, we'll keep that. You didn't actually get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Johnny is sort of behind you, shedding light in the room. Did you make any more specific commands to him?
Just shed light on it.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. I mean, he doesn't have any weapon, so he tries to shed light. And then you see emerging from the bone pile a maybe 2 foot long, feral and disheveled cat.
A fucking 2-foot cat did 6 damage to me?
It did. And it it re-enters the fray. This time you're no longer surprised.
Okay.
So you get an attack of opportunity as it comes back into your reach.
17.
All right. That is a hit. Roll for damage.
4 damage.
Okay. And the cat goes down.
I pant. I go over to the cat. And I look at it. And then I feel my wounds on my body.
Yeah, you've got a bite and multiple scratch wounds.
Ugh, dear God.
Your face is dripping with blood.
Ugh. This is not the final episode to Extreme Vetting. I don't know why I'm having to fight cats. Johnny, are you okay?
I'm fine. It just startled me. I spotted it in the shadows, and
And you ran like a scared little kid.
well, look how.
It's a cat, kid. The little pussy cat.
Sure, Roy. Let you find you have to like wipe the blood out of your mouth in order to form coherent words.
It's fine. I'm keeping my manliness intact. I put my whip back on the side of my belt, load my crossbow with my last bolt, take my torch, get down on my hands and knees, and start to crawl through the tunnel in the direction that little Johnny and the cat came.
Okay. Goes about 20 feet and then curves to the left.
I follow the curve.
Another 50 feet or so, and then it forks. Forward and to the left. Little Johnny follows behind.
I grumble and I go forward. Caves. Kid.
All right.
Cats.
You go forward. You can see just at the end of your light radius, the cavern opens up a little bit, maybe 15 feet forward. You can stand in like a little 10-foot area for just a second before the narrow passage forks left and right again.
Roy's getting a little lost now.
And,
he knows he's gone through two forks, and he thinks he took the right path and then the straight path, but he's not super sure anymore. So he tells Johnny to stay here and remind him which way he came from, and that he's going to go ahead alone.
All right. The boy nods. You can see a dim light in the path to the left. Doesn't look quite natural. Or maybe it's filtered through some kind of like a curtain or something. Like it doesn't, not flickering, and it's like a bluish light. So
sure, I'll put out my torch.
Narrow path left and right. It's still pretty dark. If you put out your torch.
That's fine. Well, Johnny's got one torch. I'm putting out my extra torch, and I'm going to leave him here with the torch, and I'm going to crawl towards the light on my own with my crossbow. Yeah, I'll take my left path and crawl with the crossbow.
Right. You have to crawl about 15 feet before it opens up into a slightly larger chamber, 6 to 8 feet tall, so you can at least stand.
Mm-hmm.
And the room there's a dim glow emanating from the walls of this chamber.
I will. First things first, I'm going to go examine these walls. Is it some sort of...
Yeah, roll a perception check.
$24.
The whole chamber smells vaguely of death. Sort of mildewing blood.
Winnie, I'm coming for you.
The glowing does appear to be coming from the walls, from some sort of
phosphorescent moss.
Yeah, fungus. Looks like a bioluminescent, like bulbs on the walls, mountains on the walls.
I pluck one and chew on it a little bit.
You roll a grub skill.
$11.
You struggle to spit it out in time. Roll a con check.
25.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to force you to roll a poison save, but you just ate some mysterious fungus. Probably poisonous.
Not a good one.
On the floors and against the back wall, there's like piles of refuse and things, like straw and blankets piled up. Sticking in the very back wall, you see a pick stuck halfway wedged out of the wall.
I will crouch low to the ground and creep over towards the pick. And I want to examine the ground at the base of the pick. Roy's thinking he might find a body here.
The ground at the base, there's it's like a pile of straw and blankets. Looks like maybe a nest of some kind. You don't find a human body. You do, however, find bodies of some small bones and remains of small rodents and the like, rats and weasels. I can't quite identify them.
What's going on here? There's a pick stuck in the wall, though, and there's blankets. So blankets and a pick mean people have been here. I guess I'm just gonna do a perimeter check of the wall, the room. Walk around it, make sure there's no other exits to this room.
There is another exit. There's a small, narrow cavern, sort of as you walked in a small, narrow passage on the right side as you had walked in.
Is that the only other exit?
Yeah, it's like a liver-shaped room with a narrow passage at either end.
Okay. I'll go down the other narrow passage and start making my way out.
You crawl around in the dark. It winds for maybe... I don't know. What seems to you like hundreds of feet, but in reality is probably more like 50 or 60. Eventually you see a flickering torchlight and you come back to baby Johnny, or little Johnny. You left the pick in the wall.
Yeah. Yep.
And the nest more or less undisturbed.
Yeah. I tell little Johnny what I saw. Pick in the wall, phosphorescent moss or something. Doesn't taste very good.
Phosphorescent meat. Did you make that word up?
Give him a stink eye. Don't talk sass to me, boy. We're gonna head back one room. See what's down that other passageway. But first, stay here one more time. And I crawl back to go take a look at that nest again.
Back the way it came, or which way?
No, I'll do like a full circle and then back. The shorter passageway. How big is this nest? I want some dimensions.
I'd probably maybe like a 8x8, like feet of floor space and kind of piled high, like blankets and straw.
The blankets aren't laying across it gently, is it?
No. And as you're inspecting the blankets, they look kind of torn and...
I'll kick the nest apart into pieces and see if there's anything in it.
There are some various metal curiosities. Pieces of wood. Yeah, some small little metal parts.
Anything resembling coinage?
No. A pair of pants.
I will stand up and kind of pull the pants waist aside, see how big of a person they would fit.
A large person, a large man. They're a little big for you.
Okay. I'll toss them to the side, grab a couple of scraps of the metal, shove them in my pocket, head back to where little Johnny is, and then head back down to the previous chamber.
Okay.
And then once we're out in the previous chamber where we can stand, I want to look at those bits of metal in the light.
All right. Roll an intelligence check.
Oops, that was only supposed to be +6. That's a 16.
Yeah, you can't make heads nor tails of them. It's like some metal rods, and they can like hinge, and there's like some screws that screw. You can't figure out what the fuck it is. Scrap metal.
I toss it to the ground. I pull out that little piece of glass again. Does it look anything like those scraps of metal I just tossed to the ground?
No, it's glass. Those scraps are metal.
Yeah, but any like similar size or shape?
No. I mean,
no similarities.
I mean, they're. I guess they're similar size. I mean, they're
by your hesitation, I put the glass back in my pocket.
I mean, they don't like fit together in any way that you can think of. I mean, they're both under a foot in dimensions. Like
they're smaller than a bread box. Okay, I'll put it back in my pocket. This room that we're in now is the one where I fought the cat.
You're not in a. You're at like a fork in the road in this crawl space.
Right. We want to crawl back out to the whatever previous room we were in.
So you're at a fork. Behind you is where the bioluminescent room was. Directly ahead is the room with the bones and the cat, and then there's another fork like sort of behind you and to the right.
And the fork behind me and to the right is the one that loops back around to where the bioluminescent room is.
No. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Then you haven't moved from that. Okay, so you're at the fork at the loop, and then there's a path forward.
Oh, right. Okay, no, I see. Yeah. So we head back to the fork, and then we go the other way, the way that we haven't explored in the fork. Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, I thought this fork happened at a room, but it didn't. It just happened in the caves.
Okay. You have to crawl.
I'll get down on my belly and crawl.
Yeah, you'll crawl only about 15, 20 feet before this small crawl space opens up into a large cavern. It's about 20 feet across to the far wall, and it looks like a rectangular passage. You can stand up here, and it goes left and right as far as your torchlight can see, roughly straight.
All right. We'll scoot forward.
Yeah, I mean, you scoot in, and I guess here you realize that it's about 20 feet wide, parallel walls running left and right. Looks man-made. Like, a lot of this cavern has looked like carved, maybe.
So we're coming in perpendicular to this passageway.
Yeah, not exactly perpendicular, but yeah, that's the idea. At like an oblique angle.
Okay. Left and right, 20 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How long? Beyond the range.
The end of your torchlight. Yeah, at least 15 feet.
And how tall?
You can stand up from 8 feet, and there are bracers that you can see at least a couple of like wooden bracings to hold the ceiling up.
I'll be, kid. Like we stumbled across a real mine. Which are we coming in from the right side or the left side? Because it's not perpendicular. So if we're coming in from this direction, we'd be coming in from the right side. Whereas if the comes in from that, it's from the left side.
I don't think I can answer that question. Left and right are all relative. You come in. Sure. I don't think I can. I'm not sure how to.
Is can't. Left in front of me more or behind me more?
Left is behind you more. You come in at an angle like that, I guess.
Okay, cool. So we're coming in from the left side.
Facing that direction. Yeah. Sure, that's sure.
Yeah. I take the torch from Johnny, tell him to scramble back to where we left the other one in the dirt in the cave, and come back with it. Crawling around in the dark is good for you. Builds character, son. Go find that torch.
Okay. Do you stand here and wait?
Yeah, I just stand here and wait.
Okay.
It's nice having like a small child to go fetch things for you.
About a minute later, Johnny comes back.
Good. I give him the lit torch. I take the unlit one and tuck it into my belt. And we're going to go forward, which is to the right.
All right. You follow this parallel cavern 100 feet, and it just seems to keep going. You don't see any obvious landmarks aside from, I mean, there's the wooden bracers.
Is there...
You follow the shaft.
Are there tracks on the ground, rails, or anything?
Roll a perception check.
To find rails? 28.
Yeah, there's rails. It looks like a cart could run along this length. Yeah, I guess you didn't need to make a perception check. Maybe let's roll to see if I can find you anything interesting.
So, in my mental map, behind us is probably the way out. Behind us is probably the... Because we came in at that angle, and so we're going forward, which is probably deeper in. We could be all turned around. It is a cave. It goes in all sorts of crazy directions. I could be completely wrong. But I'm going to work off of this assumption because Roy's only got 6 intelligence. So Roy's going to turn around and head back the other way with Johnny.
All right. You walk back another 100 feet past the side passage that you came from, the small crawl space. And then another 30 feet beyond that, you come across some rubble and a large sort of stacks into a pile at an angle, maybe another 20 feet forward, all the way to the ceiling.
Like a cave-in?
Like a cave-in.
Well, Johnny, only one way. Let's go back. We turn around and we go the way that we were originally going.
How far do you walk?
I'll walk for 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes times... how fast can a kid walk? Let's see. I want to see
inside, we're going like movement rate 12 in feet, so we're going like 120 feet around.
Feet around, yeah. But I'm wondering if the kid slows you down.
If he slows me down, I'm going to just keep going ahead, and he'll have to catch up to me or get lost in the darkness because I'll take the torch from him.
Dwarves and halflings do movement rate 6, so I feel like a 9-year-old human probably follows similar movement rate rules.
Sure. He might have to jog to keep up with me.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
Yeah, or he can just get slowly swallowed up by the darkness behind me.
Okay, you take the...
I'll take the torch from him, and I'll move steadily in this direction with my crossbow out.
They don't have children in the monstrous manual. Why the hell not? It's the most monstrous of them all. Yeah, I think I'll say little Johnny has movement rate 6.
Sure.
So he jogs and keeps up. You kind of leave him behind in the darkness. So in 10 minutes, you can move like 1,200 feet. Yeah. Based on roll an intelligence check.
21.
21. Yeah, based on the slope, or based on I don't know, way your feet are aching, you would guess that you're heading downhill.
That's fine.
At least at a slight grade.
That could
roll a perception check.
30.
You spot, like long before it takes notice of you, in the dim light ahead, a small rodent, long and narrow, like a furry snake.
I'll put the crossbow over my shoulder and just take a shot at it.
Roll to hit. Back attack and surprise. But,
back attack makes it a 10. Surprise makes it an 11.
I think that's
and with no dex modifiers.
That's almost.
Yeah.
Oh, you have dex?
No, yeah, because no dex modifiers for it.
Oh, okay.
Like if it's a cat, then it's surprised.
They have ferrets, but not weasels. It's definitely a weasel, not a ferret. Fuck ferrets. I'll say that's a hit. I would assume that most of a weasel's armor comes from its dexterity.
That makes sense.
So roll for damage.
6 damage to the weasel.
All right. You spear the creature on your bolt, and it dies.
I go over to it, pick it up by the bolt, and hand it over to little Johnny. And say, "Here, put this in your pack, or toss it over your shoulder. This is your. This will be dinner tonight." And I pluck
little
the bolt.
Little Johnny looks excited.
I rearm the crossbow, and I keep going down this passageway. Come on, kid. We're gonna find these guys if it kills us.
How far are you willing to walk?
I'm willing to walk for like an hour. Roy is determined. I've got a lot of torches and a lot of oil, so we can keep going for ages. When it's been half an hour, I will need to switch out to my other torch.
Okay.
It's probably coming up on half an hour, actually, since we've been in the cave.
Yeah. I'll say you burn out the end of this torch. Maybe you just barely light the other. When you come to a light at the end of the tunnel.
Does it look like a flickering light or a steady light?
It looks like sunlight. And you follow this straight passage, sort of out a mine entrance into the sunlight.
Does it look like the one we came in?
No, definitely not.
Kid, I think we just went right through the mountain.
There's like bracer, or like a wooden braced mine entrance. You find yourself at the bottom of a large valley, quarry.
Do I see a water wheel
around you? You do not see a water wheel.
Are there people?
Yeah, there are people. Not directly near you, but in this quarry there are people around working.
Well, I guess I'll put out the torch and step out into the sunlight and wait for someone to notice us and come over and ask us what the hell we're doing in their mine with a crossbow.
Yeah. All right, this seems like a good place for our break.
Yeah.
We'll sort out where the hell Roy got himself to.
Yeah, all right. We'll see you guys on the other side of our break, so bye-bye.
Bye-bye.